One of the most frequent, in fact, the most frequent aspect of the grammar for the Hebrew is this one, Vayomer Elohim. I want to explain what Vayomer does as far as grammatical aspects of Hebrew goes. Vayomer Elohim means God said. So I'm drawing with pencil on Vayomer so that I can explain some grammatical aspects that I think are really important to understand. Okay, so with Vayomer, we'll do the Vav, the Patak, the Yod, with the Dagesh in the Yod. Oh, that's fuzzing out. With the Holam, the Aleph, the Mem, the Segol vowel, and the Resh. So there's Vayomer. How Hebrew reads is we start with I'm just writing it real quick. My handwriting's not the best. We start with a consonant, then a vowel. So we have the Vav here and the Patak under the Vav. Then the Yod and then the Holam, which is just a dot above the next consonant. Then we have the Aleph, which is silent. We have the Mem as a consonant and the Segol, the three triangle dot, and then the Resh. So this is how it reads as we go down here. We're going Va, and then the Yod is Y. We go Yo. We go over to here. We pronounce the Yod with the Holam. So it's Va, Yo. With the Mem and the Segol, we're coming back down and to the consonant. You see how that works? So that we read it Va, Yo, Mer. Vayomer. This is from the root word Amar. Amar. And, you can't see it, sorry. This is from the root word Amar, Vayomer. Now, what does this Vav and Yod, Va, Yo, and then we separate it. We've got the Aleph, the Mem, and the Resh with the Segol and the Mem, under the Mem, so that we have it separated like this. Va, Yomer. This is the prefix. Now, in order to get to the root, most Semitic languages have a 3-root consonant base for the meaning of their words. Amar for speak, and so on and so forth. And I'll get into that in more detail later. But what Hebrew does is to change the person and the gender and so on and so forth. We have prefixes and we will have suffixes added on to the end of words. Right now I want to focus on this prefix right here, the Vav and the Yod with the Holam, in this word, Vayomer. And what is it showing us? In order to get to the root, to see what kind of a word this is, to be able to translate this word, we have to count the consonants. We know roots have 3 consonants as a base. Okay? The roots are 3 consonants as a base. So what we want to do is we want to get to the root. The Vav, so here's how we'll do this. So what we have here is Vav is the first consonant. That equals 1. Vav is 1. The Yod has a dot in it in Vayomer. This is important to understand because that dot has the effect. That's a Dagesh forte. I'll describe in a minute how to recognize a Dagesh forte. The dot doubles the letter. So Yod equals 2 consonants because with the dot, it's a Yod and a Yod. Do you understand that? And then, of course, we have the Aleph, which equals 1 consonant. We have the Mem, which equals 1 consonant. And we have the Resh, which equals one consonant. So altogether in this word we have 6 consonants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 consonants. When you strip away the prefix of the vav and the 2 yods, you are left with amar. Do you understand that? What happens here is this. The reason we know this is a Dagesh forte is because in the vav, it has a full patak, a full vowel before the yod in vayomer. With the full vowel before this yod, that tells us that dot is a Dagesh forte. And that means that technically speaking, vayomer is spelled with that many consonants. It's spelled with 2 yods. What this demonstrates is that, well, the vav. Okay, now the vav always means and. Vav is simply the word and. It's that simple. No matter what vowel is under the vav, it always means and it always attaches to the word. You'll never see vav by itself. It is always attached to the word, like here in vayomer. And so what this does here, when the vav is followed by a patak, that is, when you have a vav and the vowel of patak is under it, which is just a bar like that, when we have that, this is called a vav conversive. There's another kind of vav also. This particular one is a vav conversive. Okay? When it's followed by a patak. What this is telling us is that the vav conversive indicates that this word is a verb. So we know there's going to be some kind of an action implied. We also know that the subject of this verb is a pronoun. And it's indicated by the consonant following the vav. So we have the vav with the patak, and we have the yod with the dagesh. This is going to be the subject of the noun following it, vayo. This yod is the prefix pronoun. We are in the prefix of the word in vayomer. So this is the prefix pronoun. This is the separate part from the root. This yod, this pronoun, also means that, well, the vav with the vav conversive also means this is going to be translated in the past tense. So we have vav, which means and. We have yod, which is the 3rd person masculine singular. Don't let that throw you off. The yod after a patak in every word with a vav, this yod is going to be a verb. It's going to be translated in the past tense, and it's the 3rd person masculine singular, which is the word he. First person is I, second person is you, third person is he. So, now that we've separated the word from the prefix itself, we got rid of the prefix. We now have amar, which is to say, and we now know that it's a vav conversive, which means this is a verb, and that it's the prefix form of the verb, so that this yod is the 3rd person masculine singular pronoun he. Then we know that vayomer means and he said. Or we could say he spoke. Or he talked. Usually they translate it as and he said.